There you go.
I like that. There you go.
All right, well, again, I think one of the reasons you have a club is to learn from each other. And we, every month we try to do something. And what's also nice is that because we record all of our meetings, you can actually go and view them at another time. And Ed, NE2W does a great job curating those for us. So today we're going to have just a discussion about going to Hamfest, and in fact, actually, with even members of ARAST here, talk about their experience on sort of on the other side of organizing a Hamfest, but just talk about what, how do you make the best experience, get the most out of a Hamfest. So I don't know if who wants to sort of start first on. Ford went off. So I remember actually many years ago, there was a Binghamton Hamfest, and it was pretty active. But again, like everything else, as I'm sure that people at ARAST will tell you, it takes a lot to organize it and make it happen. And but bottom line, especially for those people that are maybe new to the hobby, it's a great opportunity to get some good equipment at a reasonable price. And
well, I remember that Hamfest. There was like 4 or 5 Binghamton clubs, including the Explorer Post that Drew and I got our licenses through, along with a couple others. And it was in the church with the gold domes.
Okay.
By 7, we're kind of where Walmart in Johnson City is now, across the highway.
Yeah.
And that was a big Hamfest for quite a number of years.
And I also remember at one point it had been in Owego at the Treadway Inn.
Yeah. They moved to Owego, and Vera kind of took it over at that point.
Like I remember we would have a bunch of talks there, and at the time I was living in Boston, and Packet Radio had just gotten started, and one of the guys that I worked with at Wang Laboratories in Boston was part of TAPR, the Tucson Area Packet Group, and I got one. I still have it, the sort of the first Packet Radio board, and I brought that with a VIC-20 computer, and and we're showing how you could have the computers start to talk to each other, and that was back in the 80s. But anyway, so I don't know, Ford, if you wanted to sort of talk about what how you approach Hamfest. I mean, you seem to.
I'd like to find out how he finds the Hamfest.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a
Hamfest.
What?
I said, you always know where they are. Right?
Oh, yeah, well, okay, well, now, first off, I gotta clarify, I go to the Hamfest, but I'm not a wheeler dealer, I'm more of a buyer. Basically, on the nets and in QST, and there's a number of different places that they will tell when the Hamfest are, just like how we know what they are. And I hit some of the ones I got favorites. I generally tend to go to the ones that are in the area, like being originally, well, I was only lived there a year, but from Elmira, so I got friends in Elmira and what have you. So there, and my deceased wife, she was from up in the Ithaca area, or Trumansburg. So I know people up there, and then I also know something like down in some of my friends go down to Wilkes-Barre Hamfest, which is coming up the 5th of July, down here in Wilkes-Barre. So and Norwich, Cortland, a few of those. A lot of the people I got to know through Skywarn and some of this stuff with the repeaters. Basically, I'm more of a buyer than a seller. My luck, and you guys, Tom can probably give a lot more light on it. The biggest shock to me are a couple of things that I found with Hamfest. As number one, if you're trying to sell this stuff, nobody wants to give you what you think it's worth. They want it cheap, buy low, sell high, I guess is the terminology. And, and so, the other thing is what are you looking for? And, have an idea how much you wanna pay. And if it's something you really want, and you know that it's a fair price, well, then I go with it. Other stuff is high priced, we've had some, and Drew, I think you'd probably remember it, I know Ron will remember it. But we had some of the Hamfest where people bought a radio. I know a young fellow that, bought a radio, Kenwood TS 520. I think he paid $550 to $600 for it, somewhere in that range. And for years, he'd bring a card table and a chair and come to the Hamfest, and there it's got that, Kenwood 520 there for sale, $500. And I don't know whether he ever got $500 out of it or not, but he wanted to get his money's worth out of it, and I don't know, I lost track of it, but, so you get to some of them where, if you want it bad enough, if not, and you don't come down the price you want, well, you didn't want it anyway, or one less thing to take home. And the other thing I found was, I was selling a radio for a fella, and, you can look at, just like looking at the book price on your car, you're gonna sell your car, and you see what all the book prices are and the whole works. People got their mind made up how much they're gonna pay. And, this guy had, or I was trying to sell for this one fellow, this Icon rig, 746, which was a very popular radio. And, I think I had the price on it like $500, and I wanted to come down to, $450 or what have you, try and sell it for the fellow. And there's a guy there, and this was at the Trumansburg Hamfest. And he offered me a price, and I says, no, I says, it's worth more than that. And so he wandered around. Pretty soon he came back, he says, you interested in, still interested in selling that deer? He says, I'll give you 400, I'll give you 400 for it. And then, he says, there's a young fellow up in Rochester area. He says he gave me $400 to, gave him a rig if I found something for that. He says, so, I can do two things. I can give you $400 and, that, fellow gets a new rig, or, I go back home, you still got the radio, and I'll take the $400 back to it. And I got to thinking, well, I'm selling this for somebody else. It doesn't make any difference to me whether I get 400 or 450 for it. So I says, okay. And that was it. So, and then I've had some guys I've tried to knock down. One guy had a antenna or what have you. This was years ago, a funny one. And, so I had this antenna, and I recognized what it was. And what having wanted this price, I tried knocking it down on it. Pretty soon he comes over, he puts his arm around me. He says, now you know that antenna is worth $50, don't you? And I says, yes, I do. He says, well, you give me $50 for it? I says, yeah. I says, well, you got me. And it was a commercial grade, antenna, so, I knew it was worth that, but, try and get it for less, but, so you win some, you lose some, so, and then there's other stuff that's just junk, so that's my experience with it, so.
Steve, you wanna?
So, yeah, I never really got much into Hamfest other than going to Hamfest, and selling stuff was the first thing. The first I ever did that was last year, and Ed helped me with some of the prices on the stuff, but it was, that was like a eBay price, right? Sure. Yeah. So what I've been doing to figure the prices out is I'll go to eBay and see what the price is, and they'll ask like half of that because, they're kind of out, and it's a good starting point, right? And so I did that, and sometimes I'll take half of what I'm asking, sometimes less. And one thing I found out, it works way better if you test it before you try and sell it, even if it doesn't work, because then you can ask him like, well, it doesn't work, but hey, you can kind of think what's it going to take to make it right. One guy, he saw it at a Hamfest, and he actually emailed me from QRZ, and he says, you still got it? And I said, yeah. So he paid for me to ship it to him. It was a Pentec Argonaut, which, the Argonauts have the dial kind of jams up on them sometimes. and there's a way to fix that, so he went through and did a bunch of stuff, and it also had a dead short in the power, which was because the finals were bad, but he fixed it up, he kind of working like perfectly, so he got it for like $20 for me, plus whatever it costs to ship it to him and pack it, so.
Right.
But anyway, so. Also found UPS is better to ship stuff than going to pack and mail, but that's.
So I guess the question I had then is like, if you're say buying a rig from somebody, do you try to make a point of, to say, oh yeah, I know it works or whatever, but do you find a way to, make sure you have their call sign so you have a way to.
Yeah, I usually make a test kind of record showing what I tested
Right.
and what I got, like
Right.
the output, how much output I got, and what bands I tested.
Right.
Because I have a linear I'm gonna take to Rochester, which it still works, but mostly.
Right.
But it's got
You can clean them off, just clean the dust off of them,
Right.
some.
oh yeah,
Some of them
right.
like cellar sweepings.
yeah, I know, my wife looks at it, you can't sell that,
You know, and,
clean it up, so.
Yeah, the other thing to also watch is that there are some, having a dad who smoked all of his life.
Yes.
There are rigs that just have this sort of
You gotta-
crimson glow to it.
Right, yeah.
That just be aware of that. If you have one of those, you may, before you sell it, you may want to make a point of trying
Right, yeah,
to.
and it does seem to help, and
Yeah.
the other thing that, and I got this from the Rochester Hamfest guy, is make sure you have a kind of clear labeling and tells what
Yeah.
it does and stuff, and
Right.
how much you're asking. Anyway, it's kind of all I have.
All right.
You had a
Tom.
good table though, you had your prices out there,
Right, I know,
everything was legible, you could see it,
right,
and if they wanted to convince about it, they could.
right, yeah, exactly.
So people go to Hamfest, like Ford, he goes to buy things. Do you carry a cart in your car like a hand truck? You carry the amplifier back that you can't carry?
There's his trailer behind the car.
No.
He's got a trailer.
Well, I got that bag, but,
You got the wagon to put the stuff in?
yep.
That's why he drags me along.
That's right. And what do you pay for it? What do you use to buy this? You use cash,
Right.
because they don't like to take checks.
Right.
But Saturday, a guy took a check for $1,000 on a radio. He said, you think I'll get the money? Guy from Fisher's Eddy.
Oh, well, that guy you can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can trust him.
Well, he was the one that took the check.
And I know where he lives.
Okay. So if you're gonna sell, and it depends on what the weather is, a lot of people take those tents because the sun can get kind of brutal. And bug spray, definitely. You go up to some of these places, you're out in a meadow and the mosquitoes are out there just looking for you to come out. So that's
Yeah.
why they take a lot of cash. And when you go to the Hamfest, all you want to do is look around, but you saw that Elecraft K1 there
Yeah.
and you couldn't pass it up. So always be prepared.
So do you try to go in like with the buddies so that like when you need to do a bio break or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah. And if you're not sure, get Ford's cell phone number
Yeah.
for one of these guys and say, look, I'm looking at this radio. What do you think it's really worth? But Steve's right about doing your homework because you're dealing with the public and there's always an expert. Every time you go there, there's someone that knows more about that antenna that's in the book. And then they'll say, well, on eBay, it was only $300 and you're asking 400. So then you have to tap dance around.
Okay.
Don't get emotional about it. Just take the money and run. And the question is, how's that work? The last time you used it worked great.
Yeah. All right.
I found on some of this stuff that, but now some of this newer equipment, that's a little different, but if it's something else, it generally goes for about 50% of what it was new, or what that guy paid for. Not what the book says or any of that. If it was $250 years ago and he paid $100, well, it's probably about $50 now.
Yeah.
And,
So, a group from the Elmira there, we'll talk about the other side of the Hamfest.
Okay, you want me to get up and?
Well, it's up to you, or just make sure you put the linear
I
on.
can't really say a lot. I'll tell you a little bit of stories. I don't have any really good stories. My name is Reiner Dig, and that's with the, I've been a member of ARAST, the Elmira Club, for probably 10 years or so. been going to the Hamfest most every year. It's our big event. We spend like literally months preparing for it. We've been doing a lot of preparation so far. An interesting fact is that the two people who used to manage the Hamfest for the last 10 years or so, who were actually US, and
Elliot.
now Elliot's gone. Thinking of Albert, it's called KD2 DGF Albert, are being replaced this year because we've seen the need to get a younger group that would like to take it over, which is a good thing. So Elliot was really the Elliot Blauvelt and 2OJM was really behind the scenes person in ARAST who knew everything and had peace and everything, but he passed away in the last year. So a bunch of new guys are going to run it this year, relatively new, and they're pretty enthusiastic. They are, I don't know if you guys might have known them, they're Mead, KB3,
KD3 EQU.
EQU, and Ian, KE2AEB. You can tell from his KE2 call, he's pretty new, he's pretty enthusiastic. And if you hear him on 2-meter repeater, he sounds like a DX station because he's from the UK. But he's pretty good and knowledgeable. So I myself have been membership chairman for about the last 5 or 6 years. And one of our main activities for the Hamfest is all our membership run out on September 30th. And the Hamfest is always towards the end of September. So we have a membership table where you usually stand up and take people's cash and checks, and people come up with questions. So what is this ham radio all about? So it's just, or why should I join your club? And I try to have some good answers prepared for that. So anyway, the main thing about the Elmira Hamfest is it takes place in some buildings on the fairgrounds that are used for other purposes. So the main building we have is the names of all kinds of rabbit breeds around the ceiling. And one of our main activities is to clean that building up a couple days before the Hamfest starts. I haven't done that myself. So that's a big deal. And then we paint lines for the flea market. That's a big deal. We do that like 2 days before. Hopefully it doesn't rain both days. It's a big deal painting those lines. And what else? We used to have a big food operation. Unfortunately, gentleman who ran that, Larry Peterson, M2AMW, is now living in Florida. So he doesn't do it anymore, but that was one of our very popular things. So we've been having a little bit of trouble replacing that with food trucks, and we might have somebody new this year. It remains to be seen. These new guys are probably out there looking for somebody right now. Prizes is another big activity. We start ordering stuff that's on sale to give to be awarded as prizes during the Hamfest right after the previous Hamfest. So it's some pretty expensive stuff, VHF and HF gear, along with some minor stuff, and dealers. Well, we haven't had as much luck as we had in the past with dealers. The word is that it's hard for dealers to make a go out of it financially when they can sell stuff over the internet. So to take off and drive 100 miles or a couple hundred miles is difficult. But we are still working on getting some back. Let me see. We had one. We had the antenna guy from Lockport. What's his name? He used to be a dealer. Now he decided to go to flea market instead. In the inside rabbit building, we have like tables, probably 6 or 8 tables that rent for like $10 or something like that. And that's where the dealers used to go. So there aren't that. So now they're being used by just anybody who wants to be inside. But usually have good weather. I think 15 times, like 14 times out of 15, the weather's pretty good. So people are outside. What else?
Is it primarily flea market and the raffles?
Yes, but we will have some big new thing going on this year as far as a demonstration of something or other. And I can't really talk about it because I don't really know a lot about it. But Ed W2EV from Rochester is an assistant section manager of Western New York, and he's been working with our Hamfest team to do something special. What that is, come and see, because I don't know, but it's probably gonna be fantastic. The ARL, we've been an ARL affiliate club for a really long time. This is our 51st Hamfest. I don't know if you've been with the league all that time. And they want to do something special this year, so I don't know what it is, but we're looking forward to that. We've had Ford and some other people from Barra come and help clean up because that's a big thing. In the past, we've gone to the Wine Glass Marathon in Corning the day after the Hamfest a lot of years. So we kind of like, we're in a kind of hurry to get out of there, but we're not doing that anymore for reasons that I can't really go into. So there's no rush to clean everything up afterwards, but thanks Ford and anybody else who came. And I think that just about covers it. If you're looking for an ATM, there's a Burn Dairy next door that has an ATM. So that base is covered. You could go out and come back in.
And I'll tell you, that Hamfest, you guys, I don't know how you've done it, but you guys have held that Hamfest together. And that's still one of the largest ones around, that Syracuse has gone through their ups and downs. Because they haven't been to Rochester in a number of years, but the Elmira Hamfest, they've been able to hold that together where.
And Elliot did a lot. You brought up Elliot Baldwell's name. He did a lot, but we'll have other people doing everything that Elliot used to do. Here's a funny story to finish with. The funny story is I wasn't sure when I got the email from Ed about this meeting whether Barra had a Hamfest. So I went to the brand new AI version of Google and said, and look for Binghamton Hamfest. And it came back very nice answer saying, well, Binghamton hasn't had a Hamfest for a number of years, but however, there is one in Elmira run by ARAST. It's pretty much in the same area. And here's a link. And I thought that was so great.
So do you guys make money on the Hamfest?
Oh, yeah.
Cool, okay.
We just pay some rent to the county for the grounds and it's all volunteer labor. Yep. We have several big bills that we expect to use that income for. So if you'd like to contribute, you must be here at the end of the meeting. Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you.
One of the fun things at Hamfest is when you first get there, there's like people with vultures like circling to see what you're taking out.
Get the stuff out of your car.
Yeah, right. It's like
You got names for those
They
people.
do.
So any other Hamfest stories you want to share or? Yeah.
Well, I got one from, you got this brags about a few of our group from here. Rainer mentioned about, I have my group, last year Barry and I, we share the same birthdays and the same year. And fortunately, he and I were not born in the same hospital because we were wondering if we were switched at birth or not. And anybody knows Barry, he's about this tall, and you see how tall I am. But anyway, so I had some of our group from here, Ron, Greg, there's a few others of us there, and Barry and I do stuff a lot of the same way. Well, he left his, cordless drill right out on the table, with a bit in it and the whole works, cause he knew we'd take the antennas down, so when it came to breakdown, and we grab the ladder and go out, and, I'm up on the ladder, and Greg's, hanging on to it, and Ron's standing by the side, to catch the bolts as we take them out. And, we had all down, all colored up in the whole works, and then, later, the next, day or whatever, I was listening on the net that they have on Saturday night, and somebody on there, they says, those guys from Binghamton, he says, I never saw anybody get an antenna down so fast as they did. We looked and the antenna was gone, and, we disassembled the antenna, but, I made a suggestion to Barry on, his antenna that, because they were the, fiberglass type of, like a diamond or a comet antenna where you take the bottom sleeve off to put the coax connector on. It's just take a piece of coax about that long and put it on with a barrel on it. Then you don't have to take that thing off, and I don't lose the screw that holds it on. So, so this year he announced to me, he says that he took my suggestion, so, we won't have to take the sleeve off to get the coax off, but, we had it all down into his truck and the whole works, so, so he was happy about it, but, it was cute, but he said, yeah, those guys are fast, holy crow, and, we knew what we were wanting to do, so. Plus, we've done it before, so.
All right, any other questions? Yeah,
Is there gonna be like I know, that, ARRL has a, like a Hamfest locator, but is there any like place that you're gonna have a Hamfest locator for like the smaller Hamfest that aren't on ARRL?
well, again, Ed always puts it on Verifax.
Yeah.
So, any place that you'd like to drive to, it'll be probably there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think when I was looking for Hamfest before, first of all, when I lived up in the capital region, there was actually a guy who would compile a list and send it out to the various clubs. But more recently, I think the website is Upstate Ham or something. If you just search for New York State Hamfests, somebody has a blog or something where they've just been listing off all these Hamfests, and that's just the easiest way to see.
Yeah, that's where I get it from.
Yeah, that's probably it. I don't know where they get it from, but yeah.
Yeah, if you attend a Hamfest and you, fill out the ticket stub, then, next year you get an invite to the Hamfest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Cool.
All right, let me just share it on Zoom for those watching on share. There we go.
One more thing while you're doing that, as far as selling stuff is concerned, I have managed to recoup some gas money by selling interesting things that I've garbage picked at previous jobs. I think the most success I've had were selling heat sinks, fans, and USB to serial converters.
Beautiful.
So if you've got stuff like that, that's fine. There's a lot of garbage
That-
that people try to sell, but there's also those little gems.
I think that's the thing about this hobby is that it's got such a wide range of technology that you can engage in that there's, USB, USB to serial converters. You wouldn't think about it, 15 or 20 years ago. Now, everybody wants one. Yeah, so if you go,
Stuff, you get to see it, a number of Hamfests, because it doesn't sell, they just go from one Hamfest to the other.
always do some dumpster diving afterwards.
Right, yeah.
So upstateham.com, there's that site.
And thanks for that question, because what I'll do in the future, when I put information down, I'll include it where I got it from.
Okay,
Cool. That's a good suggestion, and I don't know, I always found you want to get to the maybe I'm wrong, but get there early.
Yeah.
Cause I get there when it opens, and I walked around once and saw all the good deals. And so I went back to go buy a few, and they were gone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But there's also stuff left afterwards,
That works too.
Because I'm not known for getting to a Hamfest and early, but I end up,
You're at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock for it.
yeah.
Well, you're right. The opposite is true. Cause at the end, you can walk around in like that big thing the guy has, you really want to take that home? Sometimes they say, no, you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. It didn't, I brought it here, it didn't sell. Take it.
Take it. I got a free radio, my first Hamfest. It was an old fireman's radio. He gave it to me for free. He had nothing, he had no clue what it was. He just knew it was a fireman's radio, so now I have a fireman's radio.
Cool.
It helps
Young
me.
people can make out.
I was gonna say, yeah, it helps me young.
I was,
They looked at me like, no, you gotta pay.
my son years ago, well, this was back in the early nineties. He took the technician class and what have you through Barra and got his technician license, and later he upgraded at the same time I did. But anyway, and I take him to the Hamfest, and one of the things that I did find with Hamfest, it's the one place that I take my son, and here's a young fella, turn him loose, and I didn't have to worry that anybody was going to bother him. The people at that Hamfest were good, of course. They also, a lot of them knew whose kid he was. So, but I'd take him like to the Rochester Hamfest. And he'd go off on his own. But some of the other ones that he would go to, well, of course, I visit as I go through the Hamfest with it. Everybody knows me, so I gotta tell them how I'm doing and what have you, so he'd take off. My son-in-law, he's listening, he knows the same thing, because he's been through it. He don't wait for dad to get through.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my son would get some of these things, and well, they cost such and such. Would you, I bought them, and I had to pay this much for it. Well, yeah, some old timer there or something. Well, you're a young fella starting off here, and you do it, and then I come along and say, what's my price? Your price is like everybody else. And so.
All right, so I just got an email update from Haley down at the Yoda, and she said, hi guys, I'm on the air again, 14270.
Oh, okay.
So those of you who are currently at home, give Haley a call. She's at Whiskey 4 Yankee, W4Y, 20 meters at 14270. And as soon as I get home,
I know.
In other words, meeting's over, get out.
Yep. All in favor? Let's go home. All right. Well, thanks again, all. Thank you again for sharing your experience, your knowledge, and we'll see you. Some of you at Field Day filled out that survey. Otherwise, we'll. Are you guys running a Field Day club? I take it.
Yeah.
A station. Yeah.
And
What's
everybody's
the-
welcome to visit. It's a beautiful site on ARAST Hill. Bring your family. There's an amusement park, there's picnic grounds, the weather's nice.
Yeah, they've got
Driving range,
a nice.
go-kart
They've
track.
got a nice spot up on Harris Hill. It's a ranch style house.
Mhm.
And you come into the living room, and there they got an operating table set up.
All right.
But you also go downstairs or down where bedrooms would be and what have you, you got other rooms.
Yeah.
There you can operate from, and then they got a meeting room downstairs. So it's.
All right. All right. Well, thanks again. We'll, 73.
Brochures.
Thank you all watching on the live stream.
Better not
Zoom.
take them home, Brad.
Thanks, guys.
Here you go.